Sometimes we picture change like a marathon, this continual effort, this putting one foot in front of the other over and over and over again to get to our goal. And sometimes that can feel demoralizing. It can make us not even want to start. We can think about this with jobs, right? Of making some kind of progress or some promotion or job change. We can think about this with our own depression or anxiety, about how much effort it's going to take to change things in your life. We can think about this with your own marriage or partnership or even parenting. We can think about this of, man, if I really want this behavior to change, it's going to take a lot of effort. Maybe you can identify that in your own life of the thing that is facing you right now that just feels gargantuan. It feels like you're going to need to do it bite by bite, bit by bit in order to make some kind of change. And there's a different aspect to how we make change in our lives that I think is actually a lot more encouraging. That a lot of times change in our lives doesn't happen as a marathon of a continual linear pattern towards a goal, but actually happens kind of like starting a fire or a spiral where there's some kind of dynamic where when we change one important thing, it leads us to being able to change something again in an easier way. For example, sometimes the first time that you go to a gym might be the hardest. You don't know what it's like. You don't picture yourself enjoying it. You picture it being arduous and frustrating. And you might actually find when you go there that you meet friends, that you develop a familiarity with the place. It actually helps you feel better during the day. And so next time when you go, you might be looking forward to it in a way that you didn't anticipate. And oftentimes the things that really matter in terms of the changes that we're making are more like starting a fire than they are running a marathon. They're more like putting in a lot of effort towards figuring out how to make that first spark, how to make that first flame, and less effort figuring out how to make it into some kind of large bonfire, right? So change in our lives has to do with identifying the most leverage, smallest way that we can make a difference in our lives. Some things to keep in mind when you think about this are, first of all, the 30-day rule, meaning that it takes about 30 days to form a habit. After 30 days, it's a lot easier to do something than the first 30 days doing it. The second piece to hold in mind is imagination, that even when you take the step of imagining what it's going to be like, that can sometimes be the spark that helps you actually do it. Take time to picture yourself having the success that you want, so that you can rehearse what it's going to feel like. That can sometimes be the spark. The third thing to think about is how you talk about it. Talking about it is a way of coming close to something that needs to change and making that first step of an effort towards the change that you want to make, right? So talking about the conversation you want to have, talking about the place you want to go, talking about the kind of change you want to make can be the first step towards actually making a substantial difference a lot easier in your life. The change that you want to make in your life is not a marathon. It's a fire that first needs a small spark to get going.